Hello my friends, before we actually start talking about today's video, I wanted to share something amazing. So, you know the hotkey gremlin that just like changes my hotkeys all the time is insane? I logged in this morning and my attack hotkey for every unit in the game was unbound. Why? What? All I did yesterday was I recorded Brutal Plus, then I went to sleep. I didn't test anything. I didn't change anything. Attack move worked there. Also, why are there 2 shield batteries? I don't understand. The hotkey goblin is real. The hotkey gremlin comes in and he changes my hotkeys while I'm asleep, and there's nothing you can do to prove it against me. Anyway, okay, we are going to today we are going to be looking at another arcade game that is another arcade game in the series of games that you can play on your own, and then if you want, you can jump in and play with other people. So today we are going to be looking at, what is it called exactly? SC Tavern Battle EN. It is made by a Chinese developer, I believe, because a lot of the stuff when we originally started playing this game is completely untranslated. Now it is translated, which has made it a lot easier to figure out what's going on. We're going to fill the lobby. We're going to change it to standard mode because auto mode, I believe, is just slower. Oop. And then we're going to give it a go. So SC Tavern Battle is, if you are familiar with Hearthstone Battlegrounds, it is a very similar game where you effectively draft cards onto your team and then you use that team to fight the enemy, except for Battlegrounds is an auto battler. SC Tavern Battle, you're drafting a Starcraft army, and then you fight with your Starcraft army. It's a little bit more complicated than that, and I have some issues with the game, but I think it's really cool. So first we have to pick our commander. I'm going to pick someone simple. You can infest Terran cards, let them spawn units. You can merge 2 cards into 1. At the beginning of each round, discover 1 support card. You can change a card description. Uh-oh. These are all going to be complicated. I'm going to grab Nova just because she's very simple and I want to show off the core gameplay instead of focusing on the hero-based aspect. Also, I need to move myself up for this recording because we're going to have a resource count at the bottom. There we go. Perfect. No, I was just clicking back into the game after moving OBS. So as you can see at the bottom, we have 3 minerals and 0 gas. Every turn, our mineral count increases and our gas increases by 1. So we're going to get 4 minerals and it's going to fully refill at the beginning of next turn. There are 3 options of cards that you can buy, and every card that you buy costs 3 minerals apiece. So what we did was we bought a set of Zerglings and Banelings, and our opponent bought some Adepts, and now we have to fight against each other. So we're going to get these on a hotkey, these on a hotkey, and try to get the Adepts into... Go. Get some good hits on them, surround that Adept, and surround that Adept, and take them out. Nice. There's a green zone that progressively closes, so there's no turtling allowed. If you're outside the green zone, you're basically dead. It does a huge amount of DPS. Okay, these things that are popping up are just because of my hero, and I'm actually just going to ignore them. You know what? Why not? We're going to play hero-less effectively right now in order to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to upgrade my Tavern tier. That means that instead of these tier 1 units, I'm going to be able to start unlocking tier 2 units, which are more powerful. And this guy, at the end of every turn, it gets 2 Zerglings onto it, so it's going to get progressively more powerful as time goes on. What you're buying is not just cards that are listed on the thing, but they all have abilities. Unfortunately, the beginning is very fast, so it's kind of difficult to explain all the mechanics of the game and read the cards at the same time. But we'll get there. So we got some good Baneling hits on the enemy right there. Just keep surrounding and executing. They went up to tier 2 as well, so we did the same thing. We both have 1 card apiece. But if they had opted to, for example, buy a second card, they would have more stuff than us. The AI follows a pretty simple script, though. Holy crap. Wait, so there's another mechanic called tripling in this game, and if you get 3 of the same card, it triples into a very, very powerful card. And we just got Or it's a double version of the card, but then you unlock some bonus stuff as well. And we got 4 of the same card. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock. And this means that these will not be refreshed automatically next turn. This is a power generator. It has 2 pylons. The pylon is based on Protoss mechanics. Each of the 3 factions has its own mechanic in this game. There's actually 4 factions because there is random as well, which is where stuff like hybrid go. So we're probably going to do a Protoss build. I'm just going to show off because mechanically it's fairly simple. Or I might do a Tavern type thing, one of the two, just something that is easy to explain. But the pylon is a pretty simple mechanic. It makes a lot of sense. So we ran our banelings into their stuff. We got this round. We're going to try to take out their Ravagers first, and we're doing pretty good. Every time that you lose a match, you lose some hit points. As you can see, this guy has 88 HP. We have 100. And that means that as you continue to lose, you eventually go down to 0 hit points and you die. So we're going to do something a little bit funky right now. We're going to buy this power generator, which means now if we buy another one, it triples. They're all going to combine into 1 card, and then it will get us a card of the next Tavern tier as well. That is the bonus you get for tripling. I don't want to do that yet because I want to I want to upgrade my Tavern to 3 so I can discover a 4. So instead, I'm going to buy the Warp Beacon. What this card does is it has 4 sentries and Immortal, and when this card warps in, or when any of my cards warp in units, which is one of the Protoss mechanics, make sure that the target is this card. This is going to be very, very important later. In fact, this card is going to be the crux of our strategy if we end up playing as Protoss. It is very good for warp-in based strategies for a reason I will talk about later. So once again, we're going to try to check out what they got. They have a lot of banelings. I want my banelings on their banelings. I completely messed it up. Oh, no. There's no force field here, and I got shredded. The opponent has an ability that in combat they become immortal for a bit, and unfortunately, their immortal is stronger than my immortal. Absolutely got shredded right there because I messed up my baneling control. So now upgrade costs 4. Once again, we're just going to ignore the fact that we have a hero. Upgrade costs 4. We have 7. So what we can do, hit the upgrade to tier 3, triple right now, and it's going to discover us a card of the next highest tier. We're going to get this Void Fleet. It has the ability to deploy, so you can put it anywhere you want, and it has the ability Recall. Recall is one of the Protoss mechanics. There's 2 mechanics for each race. Protoss has Recall. At the end of each round, if energy, which is the number of adjacent pylons plus pylons it has, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is greater than the recall, then it does its effect. So it's going to warp in a Void Ray at the end of every single turn. And because we have that card that forces the warp-ins to always target the same thing, we're going to be getting a bunch of Void Rays, or 1 Void Ray every turn for the rest of the game onto that card. It's very consistent and reliable. Void Rays are pretty good. So we might end up in a little Sky Toss thing. Warp-in, what it does is it normally picks a random Protoss card to put the stuff onto. We need to be targeting down their anti-air with our voids. They're inside the river, and it's a little bit tough to see. I think it's going to go okay, though, unless our Void Ray dies. Yeah, we got this. The AI blinks, which is really nice. They do all the micro stuff. They'll use, like, storms and stuff as well. So Warp-In normally targets a random Protoss card. However, because we have the thing that anchors all Warp-Ins onto this specific card, we know it's going to happen. Every turn we've been getting 1 Vespene Gas. We can use 2 Vespene Gas to upgrade a card and give it a permanent benefit. So we have 4 options here. 25% damage, add 2 pylons, 2 zealots, and 2 energizers. Make it sell for more money, or heal over time. We're going to take 25% damage, and we're going to upgrade again. All units in this card gain 16% shield, and for every 1 energy, which is adjacent pylons, gain an additional 8%, or we could get 20% HP. We'll take the shield bonus. And then we got to spend our money for the turn. At the end of each round, warp in 2 Stalkers. At the beginning of each round, warp in 1 Zealot. So this is going to be even more warp-ins. we're going to focus all of our upgrades onto this card specifically. Oh my gosh, we got another one. And then we're going to warp in as much as possible onto it to make a giant super death card. And that is going to be our win condition for this game. We also have 2 warp prisms, which I don't think are going to be very valuable in the micro war, but I'll try. So we're getting to a pretty sizable army at this point. Overall, things have been going very well. We've been winning the fights. I'm feeling pretty confident. A lot of the abilities are autocast. For example, if you saw the Guardian Shield there, the game just automatically casts it for you, which is nice. The Sentry doesn't have Force Field, but it does have double shield recharge from the campaign. So it's just an autocast unit. The Void Ray, on the other hand, I have to manually use Prismatic Alignment. So figuring out what cards do what so you can focus your micro is very important. However, if you don't want a micro, the game actually has an automatic mode where the AI takes control of your army and then it's just a pure auto battler. When your Tavern upgrades, gain 1 pylon. I don't really care about that. We're just going to upgrade our Tavern to tier number 4 and then maybe some Ultralisks right now would be good. We're going to have something that isn't really going to matter. We're just going to sell it off later. So maybe we'll get the Infantry Squadron. Having some Medivacs right now would be great. Now, we have all 7 of our slots filled, which means that if we want to buy more stuff from now on, we're going to have to start dropping things. All units heal by 20% of the damage they deal. All units in this card reduce damage taken to 1/4 max HP. We're not really going for weak stuff, so I don't think that's that valuable. All units gain 50% damage, but keep taking damage equal 2% of their shields and health during the battle phase, or 20% attack speed every 18 seconds. We're going to get the attack speed over time. I just want pure upside. That 50% damage is pretty alluring, I'm not going to lie, but I don't want all my units to explode. The enemy looks like they're not doing too hot here, so we should be able to crush over this one. Make sure that our stuff is spread out. Easiest way to lose is to just... Oh. Well, I guess we're fighting. I did not control that well. We're going to target down their Mothership Core first. And the Mothership Core has the time stop ability, so we want to move out of that if at all possible. Cool. Crush through. The time warp reduces your movement and attack speed by 50%. It's not in the game anymore. It used to be on the Mothership Core when that was in melee. You can see that the enemies are getting pretty low at this point in terms of HP. Whatever, doesn't matter. And we are on Tavern Tier 4. I am going to look for some more Void Rays. Ooh, a Carax. At the end of each round, randomly warp in 1 Immortal, Reaver, or Colossus. We're going to get rid of that Infantry Squadron, and we're going to keep the warp in shenanigans going. Normally, as I said, all this would just be randomly distributed, and it makes it kind of tough, because if you want to sell something, then are you sure you want to sell something? Because that's kind of suspect, you know? Like, it's got a lot of randomly warped in cards on it that makes it way more powerful than normal. But when they're all forced onto this one point, we can build everything. When entering, warps in 1 Archon. Recall 5, warp in 1 Archon. So as long as we have those 5 adjacent pylons... Oh, we could do... No, we cannot do a Void Pylon thing right now. I should explain that. So, these Void Pylons, whenever the card attached to them is sold, all the pylons go to the guy to the left. It means that, theoretically, if you wanted to get a bunch of pylons on one thing for a very, very powerful effect that requires a lot, you could just keep buying and selling and shoveling off to the side. It's kind of how Protoss is designed if you're going for like big Sky Toss energy at the end, but I'm going for a more balanced composition overall. A little bit of Void Ray, a little bit of Colossus, all that kind of stuff. Oh, good storms. Yeah, we just wanted to bait those storms out. We're going to void their voids. And then finish off their stalkers. Try to get some stuff behind, make it easier to hit. There's only like one thing, but it doesn't really matter. And we crushed right through. So I do like this game. The micro component really adds a lot to it, I think. It makes it very interesting in a lot of ways that Tavern Brawl isn't, because there's no randomness. It's like you can take what is a bad situation and make it work simply because you out-control the opponent. I think that's very cool. The highest Tavern tier in this is 6. That's where the strongest units are. So we're going to upgrade to 5, and we have a triple right here because these are 1, 2, and 3. We can hit the triple, which is going to give us a new thing. All your cards having recall trigger it one more time. Incredible. So we got our Tannis. This card now, instead of the 2 Stalkers at the end of each round and 1 Zealot at the beginning of each round, is 3 and 2, so it's a little bit less. However, taking up only 1 space is very nice. Our Tannis is going to double my recalls, which means this is going to give me 2 Void Rays every turn. This is going to give me 2 Archons every turn. And this is going to be upgraded to make them even more powerful. With 20% increased damage. Why not? Now, we're going to try to look for even more recall-based abilities. Our Tannis is kind of the capstone of this strategy, and I got very, very lucky when I drew him. So I'm going to just keep going, right? Keep making it happen. I know that some of the recall stuff in the higher tiers is very powerful, like Summons Tempests and Scouts. I think that's one. Another one is Elite Void Rays, I believe, which would be very, very fancy to grab. But at this point, we are doing so well, we're cascading out of control with our army size, and that means that we are able to kind of move through, particularly against Zerg, because we have these Archons that are dealing so much damage. We have 25% and 20% damage as an additive bonus, I believe. Maybe that's multiplicative, because that doesn't look like 45%. Maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it's 45%. Anyway, it's a lot of damage. They also gain their attack speed increase over time. It's very, very powerful. And it does look like the first of the enemies has fallen. Now, this is another Karax. Karax is pretty sweet. So if you, let's say you have everything full, you can use the save function. This is kind of your hand if this were a card game. You can just put this into your hand for later, and maybe we can use it later. Figure out where we want it.
Let your will be heard.
And then I guess we're going to re-roll, see if we can get one more Karax. Oh. When any card warps in, replicate the last 1 warp-in unit. Where do we put this? Maybe we got to sell Karax. This is very, very powerful with our warp-in based strategy, but we want Karax here. We have a warp-in here. Oh no, where do I put it? This is the hard part. I don't have the room, but this guy is like so good. Everyone else I have warps in though, or is part of the strategy.
Let your will be heard.
So what if we sell this? And then we buy this guy who can be deployed anywhere, and when he is, he adds 1 pylon to everyone. We're going to split the pylons like that. Then we're going to enter. I don't know if I did that right. Oh, people are going to yell at me. Oh no. I think we did it right. So now every time that we warp in, they all go onto that 1 card, and 1 of each warp in gets replicated onto the Mohandar. Which, because we're only, I guess we're not getting only 1 Archon and 1 thing, but we're getting a lot of warping cards every single time. I can't really begin to express how insane our luck has been in this little showcase, but it's been absolute madness. And this game might kind of look like a giant A move because I have just been incredibly fortunate. So the game is effectively going to continue in this way for the rest of time. Oh, that's me. Whenever there's an odd number of players, it'll pick a random player as a AI to fight against others. And it was me, which is exciting. Oh, there's even more cards I want. A Karax. So this can triple. And then we have this Light of Purity. At the end of each round, gain 1 Void Ray. If you have, every card you have turns 1 Void Ray into Elite. So elite cards are better than normal cards. I know that sounds really simple and reductive, but that's what it is. They're just better. Oh, I don't know what to give up. Do we give up Warp Deploy? We have a lot of Stalkers and Zealots. Maybe they're not the best right now. It's where it gets hard. We need 2 of these cards in play to triple. Let's gain 20% damage on everybody. And then we're gonna, oh, it feels bad to sell this, but we gotta. Then we can put Karax in. This means that we have a third Karax, so we can triple. Oh. Warp in 1 Zealot Elite. When energy reaches 7, warps in 1 Colossus Elite. Oh, we gotta get that. But how do we play it? Where do we put it? It needs to have 7 pylons nearby. It's got 3. Oh no. Do we have a deploy card anywhere? Oh no. I'm not playing right. I don't. There's so many decisions to be made and I'm not sure what the correct one is. It's okay. We're not in a bad shape yet. I have it saved to my hand. What I need to find is a card with deploy. Deploy cards let you put them anywhere. And if we have that deploy ability... Oh yeah, wait, okay. Sorry, I was thinking about my movement. We're going to try to hit these guys from the side. They don't have a whole lot. Let's target down the Brutalists. Brutalists have amazing anti-air. And then kill the Queens. Oh, this is Protossing. So the deploy ones they move your cards around effectively. And that way we can open up a gap and then we can drop right where we want it so he has 7 pylons adjacent to him, including himself. So I do like the late game here because there's a lot of like figuring out what you want where and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very neat. Oh, there's more cool stuff. Oh, I don't think we can go for these. No, because we're all in on warp ends. Okay, deploy. You have deploy. When entering Hatches 6 Scourge, don't matter. Don't care about that. So if we put it right here, it splits these two apart. These are our 2 warp in guys already. So they have 4 pylons and 1 pylon on them. Then we enter, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means that we're going to now warp in 1 Elite Colossus and 2 Zealots every turn because the recall triggers once, and then if you have double energy, it triggers twice. Oh, this is complicated. This game is the systems on the high end of this game at the later stages are still something I don't entirely understand. But you can get all these different interlocking systems that kind of make things cascade out of control, and you get these insane armies very, very quickly. Like right now, what we have is quite ridiculous. However, it is also my biggest complaint with this game. When you're playing solo, it's not an issue because it doesn't come up. However, if you're playing an 8-player game and every single player gets to this stage, the game can be very, very, very laggy during the combat sections because it has to do the calculations of 8 different players who are all fighting at the same time. And I would go as far as to say that it can be unplayable because of this scaling, which is why a lot of the people prefer the auto mode. But one of the things that's most charming to me, personally, is the fact that you get to micro here. The fact that we get to bring our Mohandars up and start killing off their stalkers, to me, is very exciting. So I like the manual micro mode, but the scaling doesn't really fit it. The only other problem I have is that if you know what is going on, the round timer during the buy phase can be a bit long. I think that it could be cut down a bit. However, it's actually been very short for me as I've been explaining everything. We have 5 upgrades on this warp beacon now. It has 67 units on it. So there are 67 guys all getting these benefits. Well, we have 2 gas remaining though, and you can only get 5 upgrades on a guy. So we're going to now take our Mohandar, who's been replicating warp-in units, and we're going to get him 20% HP. We're now at tier 6. We have all of our money. We're just going to look for triples. We're looking for a Void Ray. We're looking for a Mohandar, an Archon, this Purify All, or an Artanis. Anything there would be good. Oh, I'm going to get shredded for my play in the comments, by the way. I'm like 99% sure that I'm really bad. However, I don't know who I would get rid of, actually, because we need to open up a slot if we want to triple something. We might just be done with our build. Everything is good. No, there's a Void Ray right there. We're going to figure this out. Because I believe that if we triple this, it'll start warping in 2 Void Rays apiece. And that's a lot of Void Ray. Oh, I really want that many Void Rays. On the other hand, our opponents have 23 and 1 HP apiece, which means that we might just win the game in 2 rounds, unless something terribly, terribly sad happens. Actually, are they fighting the AI of us? Let's check. No, they're fighting each other. It's AI versus AI over there. Void Rays on the Guardians. And let everything else A-move. Ooh, this is the guy that becomes immortal. He's the guy that took the game off of us earlier, so this is good revengeance. He has just not managed to scale in the same way that we have, though. I don't even know where these Reavers are from. How did I get 9 Reavers? Oh, Karax. Of course, it was Karax. It's our boy. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, 2 Immortal Reaver or Colossus every turn. So powerful. So we're going to save this. We're just going to hope that we can find something relevant, but there's only one. Ooh. How do we make this work? What if we sell? I know that sounds weird, but he is kind of like a long-term value card, and we don't really, there's only 1 round left. I just want to be as powerful as possible. Now, instead of getting a card with your triple, you can get a unique upgrade. It's not actually unique, but they're good. During the battle phase, when a unit in this card is damaged, the attacker receives 1/3 the damage dealt. Why not? Because for my final slot, I already have these Void Rays, which is going to be more than enough. We're going to enter right here. Oh, we don't have all the 5 energy. Oh, I should have put it right here. Oh, no! Because it has deploy, I could put it wherever I want, and I didn't really notice in this pile that there is, in fact, a pylon on this card, and it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a big mistake on my end. It's going to cost me an entire Void Ray. And I do apologize for it. Because we're going Void Rays. Like, if you cost a Void Ray when you're going Void Rays, then what is even the point of living? 2, 1, and ready. This is going to be the final fight of the game, I believe. So let's make it beautiful. He's got big Protoss. He's like flying immortals, just chilling out. I have no idea why. But you see a lot of wacky stuff in this game, and I'm sure it makes sense if you actually know what's going on, but I don't. So we're going to bring the Void Rays over their Stalkers and then hit that laser beam and try to target their anti-air down. Let's take down these repair drones that are getting in the way. Patching up the enemy. And that is a dead lobby. We dealt 53 damage to him. I don't know how the damage calculation works, but that's over half his life in 1 turn. And that is Starcraft Tavern Battle. Every race has 2 different mechanics to it. There's 4 different races. So there's like the Void and the Primal for random. There is like cocoon spawning and hatching for Zerg, and I don't really understand them. There is reactors and tech labs for the Terran, and then there's the recall and the warp-in for Protoss. And then there's a lot of cards that are like good for mixing and matching, all that kind of stuff. There is a huge amount of variety and replayability in this game. It is very popular in the Giant Grant Games archive, or the Giant Grant Games, what is this called? Not archives. Oh no, arcade. The arcade section in my Discord, which is, link is in the description. If you are interested in finding someone to play with, there is almost always people there that like this game, though I do believe they play on the auto battle mode. So guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoy this game, it is Starcraft Tavern Battle US. It's a lot of fun. It's very interesting, and honestly, I like it better than than Hearthstone Battlegrounds because of the StarCraft component for one, but also the manual control. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.